Hey, it's Coach Chris coming at you again. This is a follow-up to that video I just uploaded. Hopefully you've watched that. It's 20 minutes to 12 a.m. on Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. I'm on the Central Time Zone, and I wanted to use this as another teaching moment on technical analysis. What we're looking at is the 1 minute chart on the MNQ September expiration contract. And so I ended that last video, I think we were somewhere up in this area. And I saw something that I liked. And so what I did is I took one contract short up in this area. It was actually somewhere right up in this area. Just this zone with these top wicks, I just had a feeling this price had to retreat and revisit this area down there. So I put a one contract trade on, and it ended up going, it's hard to see here, but this candle actually wicked. Now remember, this is the line I drew. Once all morning, the price had been trading down in this area here, in this lower zone. And while I was recording that, price actually broke through and created another trading zone up here. And so what I did is I drew this line here saying that we will now have what's called a role reversal, meaning that what used to be the area that used to be resistance will now become support. And remember, we as human beings are not perfect, right? And neither is the market. When we draw a line like this, yeah, sometimes the market will respect it to the tick, usually when we're trying to get an order in, right? And then we'll miss it by a tick. But we have to start thinking of this more in area, say a 2 or a 4 point range. And so that's when, during that last video, I drew this box in the middle here, around that last box. And let me just see if I can put a different background on it. Come on, so that it shows out more, or actually see if I increase this yellow, if it'll show. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, perfect. So this is the line I was emphasizing with the role reversal. Now that we're up here, this was resistance, now will become support. And so, as I said, I took that trade here, and it was about a 20-point trade. And I had my stop right at that line because I knew as soon as we hit this line, we're going to get a bounce. We almost have to, because people will be defending that line. And what happened is, came down to here. We had a little bit of a green candle, and then it came right down there and almost to the tick. Well, it actually blew through. Like I say, remember, it's an area. And that's where I was stopped out, right on that candle there. Come on, I'm going the wrong way here. This is the Top Step X platform for those of you that may never have seen it or traded on it. On this candle right here, you can see it. Is that the one I'm talking about? Oh, no. This one. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. This one right here, it wicked through and stopped me out, okay? And then what happened was, it immediately went back up to this area, came back down and blew through that area. The next candle, remember, this is a 1 minute chart, little wick down, came up, got above the blue line, what I'm calling now support line, red candle. Look at this area. And now this was drawn in my last video. This is not new. And so remember, I said that's an area. And look at what they've done. They've respected that area that now became support. It bounced up. One more time, they bounced through it. A little further wick this time, sucking up liquidity. Green candle above, closes above. This one goes down and exactly tests that blue line, and then we're off to the races. So this is a common thing you'll see. Okay, I'm going to really mess this chart up and put another box right here just for the second. Here's what's happening, okay? think of them, when I say them, it's the algos, it's the market makers, it's other traders. They need liquidity to move the market in either direction, okay? In this case, it appears they want to move this market up, and it's getting clearer and clearer on that since, it's been like that all morning. Just a steady increase. But at times, they'll get exhausted. You'll hear the phrase market exhaustion, and you'll see it. They'll be getting there, pulling back, sucking liquidity up, trying to break through. And at some point, they just absolutely have to come back down to get enough liquidity and ammunition to run this thing back up. And that's exactly what happened here. It's easier to see if you zoom this out on a longer time frame, it's not as clear. That's why I'm using this to kind of teach this. So what they do is they screw around a little bit and they come back down. Now, support and resistance is very interesting from the standpoint. They'll touch it, get rejected. And then they'll keep kind of what I call knocking on the door, okay? And they'll test it, come back up. Here you can see they actually broke through it a little bit, but then they quickly retreat. Here, this is a true sign. Get rid of this. This right here is a good sign that they're going to be retreating, and what that is this extremely long wick going way down to suck the liquidity, and boom, then it's off. They've got the ammunition they finally needed. Here they were just gathering it, kind of trading around in this chop zone, and boom, now they were off to the races. And you can see. This is really interesting to me. Remember when this box I drew in the previous video. So if you saw that video, you'll see where I actually drew that and why I set the limits where I did. I'm just going to extend this to the right because we're starting to get to the right edge of this box. Look at how they're respecting this. So now what they're doing, I say this is what the market is doing, trading around in this area, much like they did here, consolidating until they can get enough ammunition, enough fuel to run it higher. It's a probe. Remember, sometimes it will immediately go higher, but sometimes they need just a little bit more strength. So they knocked on the door once. They're knocking again on this door. And what we're going to see is they're either going to break out or it'll be what we call a failed breakout, and then price will come down here. This is why you do not want to be trading in these consolidation zones, okay? Because it's just going to be a short back and forth motion, sometimes the whole area, sometimes just part of the area, or they'll quickly suck back down. You're going to get chopped out. This is the area that most beginning traders will absolutely get destroyed because they'll be trying to scalp this, picking up a point here, being successful maybe with a couple points, and then immediately they get stopped out for twice their loss. Same thing in this area. And you'll see how the market will do this over and over. Sure, there's minor variations, but the overall technique is the same, or overall pattern is the same. That's a lot of what technical analysis is pattern recognition. And the only way to develop it is by putting in time, either in the live market, in replay, simulation, if you don't want to risk real money or prop firm accounts. But there's just no easy. You can't just read a textbook. Maybe there's one individual out there that can. But the only real way to learn this is by years and years of watching this. And what you'll do is you'll pick up an area of it at a time. It's impossible to know everything about this. One of the resources that I think if you're a new trader you should watch is Top Step TV. I'm not plugging Top Step. I do trade on a lot of different prop firms. However, they do offer a lot of having said that, they do offer a lot of tools to the trader to help them get better. Okay? Man, what a run we've had today. This is absolutely insane. What I was saying is the Top Step TV program, there's a lot of technical analysis being done, and they have an individual by the name of John Hoagland on there. Hoag, they call him. And he's on every day. He's got a real thick mustache. And he's been probably trading as long or longer than I have. And he was actually a pit trader in Chicago. And guy is just simply a genius when it comes to technical analysis. And not only is he a genius at it, he's a genius at teaching it to others, because this is very, 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 it takes a lot of time to really learn this and some of the key things. The other thing is he can do it on every single market that's out there. I tend to only study the MNQ, even though I trade other instruments. I tend to just trade the MNQ and the ES at this point, just because those are the two major products, and I like the liquidity that they offer. But that gentleman on Top Step TV, if you want to study technical analysis, he's really a great teacher. So now, look what they've done. Okay. Just zoom this down because this is important. I know this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to end it probably pretty soon. So you can see here, when I filmed the first video, they were trading in this area. It's approximately a 30-point area. And what I said is, once they broke above here, what will happen is they will create a new trading zone. And that zone typically is of similar size to the previous zone. So we had one here. We moved up to this zone, which is exactly the same size as here. And you can see how now they've been trading around in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this window. Where's my buttons? There they are. Clone. That'll create another new window of the same size. And I'm just going to stack it right up here on top. Ah! Look at that. Look at that. To the tick almost. And you think, oh, well, that's just lucky. No, that's what they do. And I don't know what it is, but that's just the way this is. So we'll see. What I'm anticipating is going to happen. Well, I shouldn't even make that guess, but I'm going to anyway. We're probably going to come back down and either trade in the middle, possibly even go and retest this area here. Remember, price likes to revisit the areas it's come from, okay? And so, since they're already up at the top of this zone fairly quickly, I'm anticipating they're probably going to, I'm just going to, I'm not going to do that. I was going to put another arrow in between those two just to see what that was like. But so you see how this works? And yeah, it doesn't work every day or in every single situation, but they're just overall rules that you can use. The support resistance where it becomes role reversal, yeah, you can use that in any market. Remember that it's an area and not a specific line necessarily. And here again, these trading zones and how they will respect these. So I'm assuming it's going to come back down. They've gone quite a while without picking up any more liquidity, and I have a feeling they're getting exhausted, unless it's a squeeze where the shorts are just bailing like crazy and they're getting liquidity from that, which it almost appears to be at this time is a squeeze to the long side. So, hopefully, I'm hoping that video was helpful to you as well as the last video was. It's a little different than what I normally do in a video, but I want you guys to succeed in this. And any time I can show you some techniques and some ideas that may help to advance you along and feel much more comfortable in your trading, so that when you put a trade on, you're not a nervous wreck. You can sit back and be comfortable watching it play out based on the thesis that you have of, hey, I know there's a good likelihood they're going to stay under this level for a while, and they're probably not going to go too far below this area for a while. Most of the trading will be in here, and in fact, we may see them come all the way down to try and pick up liquidity back. Since, remember what I said, they like to revisit areas they've already been. There may be some, I haven't looked at it, there may be some FVGs, what we call fair value gaps, which are gaps along the way. When you see these bigger candles in these areas, it's almost, price has to revisit that and close the auction because there may be just an empty area there, and it has to clean that up. The algorithm and the market maker doesn't want those sitting out there. They want to make sure everything is a smooth auction up and down. So, hey, I wanted to mention I have the AccuTrader.net system up for sale right now. It's not just an indicator. You're not buying an indicator. You're buying a whole system. Even though I do include my those indicators and have them set up in a specific way to help you, that's not what you're purchasing. You're purchasing expertise, the videos that I provide, and the instruction on how to trade it and how to get bigger trades. I'm talking 100+ point trades very often at a time instead of taking these little 5-10 point scalps. These are much bigger trades, very, very accurate in most market conditions. In a trending market to the top like this, it's not the best. It performs better when you have a market that goes up, down, oscillating, as long as the oscillations are big enough. I'm not talking, these little blips here. I'm talking, good 50 to 100 point oscillations. Up, screw around, down, up, screw around, down, and we can catch those big 100 point moves. So you see now what's happening. They are respecting for now that upper limit, so they're either gathering liquidity for another breakout, or they're running out of steam and ammunition, and they simply will break down here, and they'll have to come down to either here to pick up liquidity or here to pick up liquidity and then go. So, Coach Chris, hope it was helpful. Please, if you wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribing down below and taking a look at the AccuTrader.net system, I would really appreciate it, guys. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.